What's up, everybody? My name is Tyler Silva, and welcome to a very special episode of The Rundown with Silva. In fact, the first of its kind. First of all, we have taken up a small residency here at the Cosmic Soup, and please welcome my first full band on the show, TV Tragedy, everybody.
Zuga.
What's up, guys?
What's up, dude?
What's up, buddy?
Hanging out,
Dude, how is everyone?
Good.
Super.
You guys are super at 10
duper.
a.m. I'm loving it.
It is
It's a lot different than your guys' 9 o'clock set times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really good to see you guys. Super good to see you. So, this is my first full band interview ever. So I want to just start, left to right or whatever it is, and tell us a little bit about your role in the band and your name and things like that. So let's start with you, Joey.
Hi, I'm Joey. I learned how to play bass joining this band. With Joe's videos, he basically taught me how to play bass.
Over videos?
Yeah, he's like, okay, if you want to join the band, here's the videos. Do these. And I'm like, okay, easy. Like, that's so easy. So I showed up to the first practice. I guess it was an audition. I don't know, but I knew the songs that he had. So, yeah, I learned to play bass with TV Tragedy. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's my role in the band.
Nice. And what other bands are you in?
I'm in Blotter Vision. I play guitar for that band.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, Mouse.
So just to put it out there is a difference between playing guitar and playing bass.
There is. I'm a better guitar player now because I play bass. Yeah, I think it's actually cool.
Huh, nice.
Pretty cool.
Well, I'm Mouse. I sing, and yeah, I do some of the art for the band, and I kind of just kick back and write lyrics to the stuff that they write. And
That's like the best job you could have in a band.
it's pretty cool.
The lyrics are good though, so
Hell yeah.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
Chris.
Chris, I play drums. I just joined about a year ago, and we haven't even played a show together yet.
Ooh.
I've never even played a show with these guys.
We're saving him.
Yeah.
The pressure's on.
Saving himself.
All right, and last but not least,
So, my name is Joe. I play guitar in the band.
yeah, he's got all the
What do I
riffs.
Yeah. Riff
This is
Factory.
Mr. Riff
He's
Man
the
over
quiet
here.
one.
Riff Factory Joe.
Yeah,
He
right.
speaks through the shred stick.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. How long you been playing?
So funny thing is, I started on bass, and then just randomly someone's like, "Hey, you want to play guitar in the band?" I was like, "All right, cool, why not?" And then so guitar maybe 6 years, 7, whenever a little bit before I started with this band. How old are we?
Shit. I'm 32.
I'm gonna say 9 years.
Okay.
Not us, but me playing guitar.
Nice. Hell yeah. So, no shows together as a whole yet.
Yeah.
No.
No.
That's
No.
exciting.
Not with
Yeah,
the current lineup, no.
Yeah. Joey's played with them, but I haven't.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you get involved in this, Chris? Because you've been in this for a year now, right?
Yeah, I joined like last February, and it was kind of crazy. I was going to get a tattoo for Mouse, and I was listening to TV Tragedy on my way down to the tattoo shop, and I was like, man, this band is so sick. Like, their drummer ever quits. Like, I want to jump on this. I want to drum for this band. And then like 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, we need a drummer. And I was like, oh, shit. I guess I put that out into the universe. And
What made you so attracted to the band?
just like the style of music, the lyrics, the feel of it all, it's a little more of a harder edge than what I'm usually playing and shit, and
Yeah.
lyric content, all that, everything about it.
So the rest of you guys have been in since day one?
Mhm.
No, I'm new too.
Okay.
So I replaced. Well, they didn't have a bass player for a while.
It was
Drew introduced me to you guys. He's like, "You guys need a bass player. You should have Joey try out." And that's kind of how I met the guys. Yeah, Mike was in the band. He was the drummer at the time, so it was a different lineup for sure. But yeah, I'm kind of new. I think like 2.5 years into it, maybe 2 years.
Who knows?
Yeah.
COVID time?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
just had like
right.
a
COVID time's
anniversary
crazy.
video of you playing with us at Timeout.
Okay.
So whenever that was.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay. So new lineup here. Chris being probably the newest member, if
Yeah.
Yep.
if I put my math together correctly.
Most of.
And you guys have not been on stage together yet, but you guys have been in the works on some shit.
Hell yeah.
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 Okay, come on, cat's out of the bag. You guys have a fucking album release show coming up.
Yeah. People will be able to download the album on June 1st, and it's called The Fall. It's got 15 tracks on it.
Hell
And,
yeah, 15.
Yeah. We stepped out of the box too. There's like a few like keyboard intro type things
Damn.
going on.
Some
and-
pianos.
yeah, we got
Intro.
real Mozart with it. and-
Interlude,
I'm not gonna
outro.
lie, I may
yeah.
have had a little sneak peek.
Like if somebody handed Mozart a Molotov cocktail, yeah.
Dude,
then he
that's
drank
up.
it.
So, Mouse, you write the lyrics. You know,
Yeah.
you're the big lyricist.
Totally.
How, with the pandemic happening, I play in a band called Rundown Roommates, and I write lyrics as well. And I really, really struggled with nothing happening.
Yeah.
Like, how did that pan out for you? Like, how do you make shut the fuck up? How do you write so many fucking songs, 15, over the course of this crazy ass year?
A lot of the songs we've actually had like in the bag for many years, because over the past couple years we've had quite a few bandmates just kind of like fill a spot for like a couple months at a time, and then we're writing a couple songs, and then on to the next band member. And so by the time Chris came around, we already had like probably nine songs.
I think it's a
Yeah.
solid
Yeah.
half. I think we had to write half because
Yeah.
the CDs, like half of them are new and half of them are ones we've had just never recorded.
Yeah, I think half or
Do I cup it? Like,
Let's just make sure
half sounds right. We'll say
half sounds right. Yeah.
There you go, bud.
I know
It
that
was,
when I
the cup half empty, and he filled it. Filled the cup.
definitely.
Oh wow, a tall
He
glass.
just filled the cup.
it's also a healthy dose of like threats and stuff like that. We just
Yeah.
made sure he knew what he got himself into.
Yeah. I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of the songs though weren't recorded on other albums. There are other albums, prior to this lineup for sure. And coming into the band, it was kind of new to me, and I thought they were already established, and they weren't. So a lot of stuff that I learned,
Zing.
no, established as in recorded.
No, no.
My
Yeah,
bad.
that just came across really funny.
They just
Thought
were
they had their
nothing I
shit together and they
expected.
just didn't. Like,
No, it was good. Okay.
Walked into a circus,
No, I'm
like
just
there's monkeys everywhere. Just
But okay, so the songs that I remember like learning the first time, a lot of those are on the new album because they weren't recorded before. And before we recorded the album, we did like 3-4 months of like hardcore, just do new stuff. Joe and Mouse really came through on that. I say there's at least like 5 songs that we produced in the last 3 to 4 months prior to recording. So
shit,
they're new to us. And we're still, yeah, I mean, it was a cool process bringing that to the studio.
Yeah, Chris, you and I are in 3-man bands.
Yeah.
And when you bump up to that 4, it's easy to get complicated and lost, or
yeah. And it was a lot easier because I'm not singing.
yes,
Like, it was really cool to come in a band and like not, like, all I have to do is worry about drumming. Like, I do backups and stuff, but
right.
it's really cool to like not have to worry about sing lead vocals and like focusing on just playing drums and getting that in tight like it's supposed to be.
That's how I felt when I joined Squared too. Like I was a lot more guitar based than
Yeah.
I was like lead singing.
Yeah, I can like
based.
focus on drums and make sure not have to like sacrifice that to make sure I can sing this while I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think it helped like sharpen, your knife a little bit?
Oh
Or-
yeah,
yeah.
for sure, definitely. And it like we started grinding to a click track and stuff, and like that made a huge difference. And it's definitely been like a whole leveling up of just everything. It feels like.
Do you guys have? I mean, being a larger scale band than I'm used to playing in, do you guys have like little writing pockets? You know what I mean? Like, do 2 of you guys write, or like do you guys mix match? Like, what is that writing process like?
Well,
yeah, I'd say so.
it's pretty much Joe's got riffs. He brings it to practice and we go over it. Mouse listens to it while we're jamming to it, and he just comes up with lyrics on the fly, or at least an outline. And then the next practice, he comes back with a really good lyrical composition. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, some of the time I'm just like throwing out inaudible like sounds. It's just like the melody is there, but there's no actual words.
Nice.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
No,
That's a good way to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
now when I'm writing too, I do the same shit. You know, like I like these chords and I just start like saying nonsense, like ba ba da da. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just kind of scatting to it until I figure out.
what words plug in and
course.
fit right.
Yeah. Like getting that melody and syllable structure breakdown,
Yeah.
and then fill in the gaps later is pretty cool.
What?
Yeah, Mouse probably thinks I'm crazy because I'll just come at him like, "Hey, so I wrote this riff. Here's an idea for a melody." I'm like, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." He's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Yeah, like yeah, that's totally what I meant.
Yeah,
Good job, you."
I like watching. I like watching everyone that doesn't play drums speak drums.
Oh,
like
yeah.
to a drummer,
Yeah.
you know, like
That's
no,
my
these things like,
favorite.
and then they're like, no, like a boom, 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 like you know what I mean, and like you know exactly what you're talking about. It's like speaking in clicks
good
and
with
shit
that.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how it was when I first started. Because like some of the songs have like cool intros or parts that other drummers had established that they wanted to kind of stick with the basic idea. So
course.
Joe's like trying to mouth drums to me, and I'm just like this. He's like, no, like not a do cat, like a do cat do do. And I was like, oh, like this. And it's like, yeah. I was like, okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. You know.
drummers are so talented for understanding that language that we make up.
Yes.
It's wild.
It's music speak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah, it's crazy because like, if someone were to tell me like, you know what you should do is like, I'm like, what are you talking about? I would not be able to.
What
do
skill is that?
Yeah.
It. Yeah, like what scale is that? Let me pull out my tuner real quick and see where you're at.
I know what you're saying, but can you just play it real quick and let me know like
Yeah.
what you want?
So, Joe, what's you have all the riffs. So, what's your playtime like? I mean, when you're not with these guys. Because I'll tell you right now, mine is shit. Like, mine is shit if I'm not with my band at all. It's been so hard to be motivated to pick it up lately with nothing happening.
Kind of the same, but I have one of those brains that like never shuts off. So it'll be like 3 in the morning. And I'll
Elon
be like,
Musk brain.
yeah, yeah, it'll be like 3 in the morning. Be like, oh, that'd probably sound cool, and like I'll like try to quietly play it in my room and like figure it out. And then the next morning, I'll just like try to like quickly record like a phone memo, like. They've gotten a bunch of them in the band group, like just like, hey, what do you guys think of this? And they're like, don't see it until like 9 hours later when they wake up. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like, I'll just sit here thinking about it the whole time. But it's really kind of sporadic for me. Like I'll hear something in my head and then I'll just try to play it the best I can.
Yeah,
That's
like
how
my
it
head
is,
songs
yeah.
are so much better than what I write. Like they're like, oh yeah, that's close enough. Like, we'll just
Yeah,
go
and
with
I remember watching an interview with Gwen Stefani, and she nailed it. She was like, yeah, I write good songs, but they're not always there. Inspiration just comes when you're not even ready for it. And
Totally.
you
Yeah,
have
Gwenny.
to like kind of seize that when you do have that inspiration, because it's not always there.
Like
You can't
Trump hits
force
on
it.
his daughter, and then all of a sudden you have a song.
Yeah.
It's
he
called
was
No
in my
One
guns.
Wins. Featured on the new album.
Okay, so he's got riffs. You've got lyrics.
Yeah, I've been
You're
holding it down. You know?
so you're also a tattoo artist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I gotta ask, like, because you probably get like a lot of stories in your chair. Both my uncles are tattoo artists,
Yeah.
so I can only imagine, you know, that with everything going on, you're probably like the only one living experiences vicariously.
Yeah, it's weird because people will have like the strangest stories, and like a lot of time I don't even have like feedback for them, but they'll just like talk the whole like 3 or 4 hour tattoo off, and like by the end of it, they're like in tears, and they're like, "Thank you, Mouse. Thank you for listening. I feel like
No
you're
problem,
my
that's $250."
therapist." And, you know, I'm like, yeah, pay me.
Yeah, no, yeah, you're focused.
Are there any
Yeah,
stories that like
that's
really
good.
stick out to you?
I'll let you know by the end of the show.
Absolutely. If one comes across, you can
Yeah, if
easily
one
interrupt
lets-
Chris.
Yeah.
Yep, like, for sure. But that's awesome. How long you been tattooing?
It's been like 7 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to say where you're tattooing out of or anything like that?
I think it's the perfect job to go with like being in a band, because like I make my own schedule, so it's like if we need to play a show, we need to hit the road. Like, hey,
Yeah, it's and you do a lot of the
Just do
artwork, and it's badass, dude.
Yeah.
You and Joe do the artwork. Joe does a lot more artwork than I thought, and you guys are good with that for sure. I suck when it comes to artwork. I can't do
Oh,
shit.
dude, no, I can't draw shit. Now, usually we would have a nice TV here and we would bring that shit up and look at it. But where can we see some of the artwork?
Instagram.
Instagram?
Instagram
Yeah.
for sure.
Instagram. Everybody.
Mouse 138. That's my Instagram.
What was it?
MAUS 138.
All
No
right.
underscore
yeah.
or anything like that.
Nah, it's all just one
Right.
little word.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to check this out. And
Uh,
by a lot of people, I mean my 10 dedicated listeners. Thank you guys.
yeah. Round of applause for the people at home.
Yay, everyone at home. Well, it's crazy. We're as of right now when we're recording this, I'm 16 episodes deep, and we just broke 300 plays, and it feels good.
Nice.
Oh,
It-
yeah,
just on the
congratulations. That's
Thank you,
cool.
man. It feels cool. Like it was weird starting this because as musicians, when we release a new song, we ask for 2 minutes of someone's time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Maybe 3. I'm asking for an hour
Every week.
hour 40. It's cool though. I did this more for me than for everyone else. Not that I don't love everyone else, but this was very therapeutic for me when I started it during the pandemic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine like just getting to hang out and actually talk to people is
Well, I miss those.
strange.
I miss the parking lot conversations. You know what I
Totally.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I miss those so much.
just standing outside of Yucca and just
Dude,
like
yes. I love the vibe of Yucca so much because the bands go in the same way that you do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there
There's
is
no back
some
door.
Yeah, there's no back door. And it's cool. I think it's really cool because bands are hanging out in the parking lots, you know what I mean? Or out front smoking cigarettes. Like you get to be really intimate at that venue. And I think it's highly important. And I realized that intimacy went a really, really long way in everything I do.
yeah.
And so I wanted to figure out a way to bring that back. And I thought this just might be the best option.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd miss those interactions as much as I did
Oh, dude.
because I'm kind of more like the quiet, like sideline kind of guy. But like I
He's
find
a
myself like,
loner.
dang, like I want to see people. Like,
Oh, dude, yeah. Even if you're a loner, you quickly realize during this, like, I don't think we're meant to be alone.
yeah, I found the limit to being by myself, and it's not.
It's not a fun time.
No, it's not fun.
It's not fun at all. Oh, man. So, 15 songs. How long? Okay. What's the recording process like?
Fun.
Yeah.
Really?
I love recording.
I was gonna say, so this one
Yeah.
was actually our first time not doing it ourselves.
Oh, shit.
So this is like a whole new experience, at least for me, and I think Mouse. Like you guys have recorded with actual
Mhm.
like producers and stuff before.
Mhm.
Maybe you have too, right, Joey?
I did a single with my other band. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So they've all done like actual producer work. This is my first time working with a producer, and it was wildly different than like our normal stuff because normally we have the control over everything we do. So like, oh yeah, that was fine. I could redo it later if I want to. But this experience it was both eye opening and a ton of fun.
Yeah.
The guy we went with, his name's Michael Beck at Sound Vision. He's a guy that really knows what he's doing and kind of like directed us a bunch. And
Yeah. I call him Magic Mike.
yeah,
I think it takes a special individual to be some producer, engineer that wants to give you good advice and not influence you.
Yeah.
yeah. He said that from the start. He's like, I don't want to change your sound. I just want to make it sound the best I can. And like that was cool to hear. And it was definitely a new experience for us, but it was tons of fun. We got to see how far our limits go as hanging out with each other goes. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that been? I mean, like, are you guys adjusting well?
I think we got along
Yeah, it
fine.
went well. It went
It
good.
just got to the point like where like one of us like sleeping, like while the other ones are like playing super loud guitar in the studio. We're just like, that's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot of that when you're recording. You may not even do anything that whole day, but you're there just to, be there and put your input in, I guess,
Yeah.
Because you'll record something and the engineer or producer will be like, so what do you think about that? And if you don't give your input, if you're not really critical about it, it can change things for sure.
I'm the most uncritical person of myself, like in the
I'm too
band.
critical.
Like
Me.
Elliot, Elliot Diggs and Freddie Bedoya. Shout out, guys, love you.
Yeah.
but those guys get their shit down to a T. And then I play over it. Who is calling me? Answer it. Guyver. God damn. It's too late.
But so that one single that I did with my other band, it was a different recording process. It was just one person. We played in a room, like as a band. With Michael, we were separated, and it was all isolated, which was kind of cool. I played the bass lines in the behind the mixing board, just right there listening to it. So that was definitely a different process for me, at least. Kind of cool. I like the experiences. I actually want to try out Jeremy from Cosmic Soup.
Oh, you should. You
that's
definitely
what
should. I
So-
heard a little band FOL might be doing some demoing here soon.
Maybe.
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 That'd be really cool.
Tasty.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like you got some secrets, huh?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a rumor, though. Just word on the street. Who knows?
Right.
Those guys don't do
Streets
shit.
talk.
A freaking grapevine. It's loud.
I heard that guy Dave doesn't even care about those guys.
Just kidding. I love you, Dave. No, yeah, it was really cool recording. It was like I've had some studio experiences, and it was definitely like the most comfortable I felt.
Talking to
And,
Mike
like-
a little bit.
Oh,
there you
here,
go.
not better.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, now you can hear me.
Yeah, there we go.
But it was definitely like the most comfortable I've been recording, and like the fact that we worked on this for like a good 10 months made a huge difference. We practiced every single week from February till November when we hit the studio. So it was definitely a big change as opposed to like sometimes in the studio, it's like, all right, we got these songs, like let's rush to get them in. Let's rush to record this, try to push it out as fast as we can. And we've really taken our time with it, which has been cool. Like there's no rush because there's not any shows. So we're not
right.
forcing anything out. We're not like sacrificing practice to play shows, sacrificing writing to be ready for a show. We've just write, and we got this whole album written, and it's cool, like fucking pianos and all kinds of shit.
There was a lot of emotion too when we were recording it. That's when the the insurrection. We were recording during that. Remember that, guys?
Mhm.
That was crazy.
You guys
And
keep-
it kind of fueled us a little bit.
You guys keep bringing up these like crazy keys and pianos and organs. Who's doing that? Oh, get the fuck out of
Yeah.
here. Piano,
For
huh?
people
Yeah,
listening in, we're pointing at mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
anyone
we're all
listening,
pointing.
we're all pointing at mouse. Sorry. Good call.
Yeah, keyboard's fun. I don't know.
Well, I've been looking to pick one up because I want to, I'm an anime guy. I'm like, man, that piano is sexy.
There's that track on the Leftover Crack album that goes like right into Crack City Rockers.
Mm-hmm.
That like the song before like is like a bunch of like piano stuff, and that like really inspired me
Really?
to like want to put something pretty on this.
I like.
Yeah, it's
You
cool.
like listen to it and it's like, yeah.
I've always
that's-
loved stuff like that too. Like
Yeah, same.
Nerve Agents did it a long time ago.
Totally.
They had an intro and outro with piano. I was like, that's weird, but it's so good.
It worked so well.
And they like go into each other, right?
Yeah, like if you play the intro and outro together, like they are kind of what we did.
That's
That's kind of what we did, yeah.
You can play both our intro and outro together, and they flow totally together.
Hell yeah. How long you been doing the piano thing?
Tickling the ivories.
I don't know. I mean, I've been dabbling for a long time, but I just got like a legit piano.
What's the
and a
long time?
keyboard.
Probably for the
It's-
recording.
Yeah, he
Since
bought
high
his
school?
He bought his
Oh,
keyboard
okay.
right before
Yeah.
we recorded.
Yeah,
really?
So, like
that's-
wrote this intro, the
Yeah.
interlude, the outro, like
yeah.
weeks before we went in the studio.
I went into
Yeah.
Guitar Center and I was like, "Give me your best keyboard."
I'll take one of everything.
And then it turned out that they didn't have anything like what I wanted. So
Do you like the
I just
weighted
ordered
keys
one.
and stuff like that?
yeah, kind of. I don't think this one has it. It's a Chord Cross 2. So it's like meant to be like a traveling like gig piano. Or keyboard. I don't know. Mostly I asked the keyboard player from Tsunami Bomb what she plays, and she said it was like a Korg M something. So I was like, I'm going with Korg then.
Chord's
So,
good, yeah.
Seems like a lot of people
Shout
do.
out to Korg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout, yeah. If Korg's listening, shout out.
I think that's
Wink,
what
wink.
RZA uses too, maybe.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Razor from
But yeah,
Wu-Tang.
Tsunami
Yeah.
Bomb's the shit.
Yeah.
It's got
too,
the
like-
display on it.
Mhm.
They're another
Those are
inspiration
nice.
to that too, like the
Tsunami
heavy-
Bomb.
Yeah, Tsunami Bomb with those like heavy, like churchy organs and stuff. Like, yeah, cool stuff.
Dude, that's what's up. So, do you guys all like have very similar influences, or is there like something dramatic that sticks out from both of you, like all of you? Excuse me.
I think it varies actually. I know Joe has a completely different taste of music than I do, but it's still the same. Like he knows a lot more bands for sure, which is kind of cool, inspiring. But yeah, I think we all in the general sense have the same kind of like we're on the same page, but everybody's got their own little things.
Yeah,
right?
like umbrella concept. We probably are all under the same umbrella,
Right.
but like different sides of the umbrella.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like we all have like things that cross over. Like Chris and I, we both really like the crust and like D beat stuff. Like that stuff's always been really high on my list of things to play.
Mm-hmm.
Joey and I, we both love like the groovier like punk riffs. Like he likes Rancid a lot. I know that.
I love
It's just,
Rancid.
I like
Rancid.
Stillers, but like Leftover Crack and Choking Victim.
Yeah, he likes a lot of the same stuff I do still on that, but like our playing styles, like I'm limited by what I can play. I was like self-taught, so I just played what I can. And that usually ends like just as fast as I can play and like as thrashy as I can play. That's kind of what I like. But then Joey, like you'll be able to see it on the album too, really kind of came into his own on his bass playing, which is like this really awesome style that I like. It's like a mixture of everything. So yeah, I think all our styles kind of meld together a lot better.
Yeah.
Like with this recording really, like because we all had this like input together. We all basically kind of influence each other's styles
Like
for
just
the CD.
enough of like different influences.
Yeah.
To kind of influence it.
Yeah,
Kinda overall.
Our 4 parts form that umbrella. We are Captain Planet.
Yeah, Captain
With our
Umbrella.
powers combined.
Yes.
That's what's up, though.
It's kind of just like everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you like that you think they might not like? Like, are you a Brad Paisley fan, or like,
No.
or like Cher?
I mean, I do like some country, but I don't
probably
know.
where I
I
draw the
dabble
line.
pretty heavily with like gangster rap from the 90s and
Oh,
stuff.
that's
Oh
what's
yeah,
up.
Yeah.
me too.
Yes.
Like the whole death row era and like
I'm a huge Gangstar fan. I love
I love
Gangstar.
Gangstar,
Totally.
dude.
Dude, I love Gangstar.
Yeah.
Huge fan of that.
I've been on a ridiculous Wu-Tang click.
some of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like just
Grave diggers.
I
so
would've-
much
Yeah.
Wu-Tang lately. It's
I've
ridiculous.
been on Del the Funky Homo Sapien, Deltron 3030.
I love
um, That's my kick for right now
Yeah.
on hip hop. Yeah.
So you guys are into hip hop?
Yeah.
Too? All right. Cool. I'm
Yeah.
not alone.
Oh,
Not alone in the universe.
There we go. A little bit of bonding right here.
I'm a
Yeah.
90s kid.
But it's so crazy, you know, like when you hear hip hop, and especially that old school shit where you see the like it just kick
Mhm.
snare, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they are just
Mhm.
like one of our songs in a verse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
tell you right now, I have 2.5 minute songs, and I'll say the same thing 10 times.
Yep.
Like-
We can just use the first verse for the second verse too, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Just like change that
Everybody
one word.
else does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those other dudes, like Riz is like, yo, I wrote 7 verses. You like, you mean 7 songs? Like,
Yeah.
Let me borrow some of those real quick.
and it's crazy to watch those guys work. It really is. It's insane to watch those guys work.
Working on a DAW, a digital audio workstation. It'll drive you crazy, man. Like if you're a perfectionist for sure, you hear the same thing over and over, and it's not good anytime that you like tweak it.
And it's crazy how like some producers and engineers just have it to a fucking T.
Yeah, they do it quick. That's a skill. That's a talent that I don't have.
Yeah, no, me neither. my homie Guyver, he's been on the podcast before, an amazing hip hop artist and rapper. One of his producer Snooty. I got to just kind of hang out with him, and I put some riffs in the bank for him to sample and stuff like that. But just watching this dude navigate these programs at such an incredible speed, and be like, oh, you mean like this?
Yeah.
And it's like, boom, and then it just hits. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, the hours you got to put in to be that proficient is just crazy,
Oh,
man.
It's nuts. Like
Hours,
it's
days,
crazy.
weeks.
Oh yeah, it's harder than any video game I've ever played. Like it
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, but
it's-
once you get it down, though, you feel like a god.
Yeah, absolutely. So Chris, are you the only family man here, or
Yeah, I think I'm the only one with kids here. Yeah.
That we know of.
I'm kind of a family by proxy.
Yeah.
What?
He's the third.
Well, my girl Erin, she has a family and grandkids,
Yes.
and I'm kind of like the granddad.
That's
in
right.
that
Yes,
sense,
you said
which
this
is
on the
weird.
last podcast that you were on with Drew. That's right. I remember that.
Yeah, was that the one that got recorded or didn't get recorded?
Oh, you know what?
I think that was the first one
right.
that didn't get
Oh
recorded.
my gosh, I was so upset on that first one. It broke my heart because I'm like, man, what a great podcast. And I was listening to it back, and I listened to nothing. I was watching everyone just fucking mile. I'm like,
That was a good one.
oh
It
my
was.
gosh.
Yeah.
You know, Bob Dylan, I believe it was
They're
Bob
both
Dylan, but he said, once said the best songs are never written down or recorded.
Right?
He's right.
It's true.
Yeah.
Like, so many riffs, man. Before like Android and stuff, like I would always just come up with a badass new riffs, and I would forget them 3 hours later.
oh, easily.
I love
Mine's
technology
like
for that.
on my
now.
way home from work. I'm like, man, this is gonna be so good when I get home. I'm like, okay, what was it? Like,
Yeah.
stare at the guitar like that's not. The
I'll
same
leave
thing.
myself voice memos, and they don't translate the same when you play them back like
Yeah.
a couple days
What
later.
the fuck was I
It's
thinking?
like, what if that doesn't work at
It's
all?
not even a word.
You guys ever wake up at like 1 a.m. with like a lyric in your
Yeah,
head, like a
exactly.
catchy chorus or something like that? And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't have enough strength to get up and write it down, even relatively.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
got
like
like
the next day, I knew I was thinking about it too.
For me,
In your dream, it was like a hit song and everything.
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Thank
got
you,
a
Miley
phone
Cyrus, for
phone
opening
full
up
of
for us.
one-liners.
Yeah, for me, it's if I get up and like chug an energy drink or coffee and then take a shower, and the shower is where I come up with good inspiration, like some hooks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
weird.
what I like to hear.
What's your energy drink of choice?
Ooh, yeah. What is it?
I usually don't drink energy drinks, but if I do, it's going to be the Rockstar Organic, the green one.
They're all terrible.
It tastes like flowers.
It's interesting, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it
got
tastes more like mushrooms for me.
It's got that green coffee bean extract, so that's kind of cool.
What about you, Mass? You got a favorite energy drink?
Not really.
Because they're all terrible.
I just I get hooked on them too quick, you know?
He likes tea.
That caffeine addiction. So I
Yeah.
try to steer away from them.
Do you have caffeinated tea? Or is it
I mean,
uncaffeinated?
Isn't most tea
most tea
caffeinated?
caffeinated?
No,
think so.
like chamomile ain't
Mm,
caffeinated.
Oh, shit. I've been lied to.
I have no idea. I guess I gotta look into that.
Like I'm cutting back on caffeine.
Okay,
just
all
drinking
right,
tea
cool.
all day. Like, all right.
Do you
Well,
guys
he-
do energy drinks
You know
on the
what, Cal?
couch? Like,
What?
do you guys do energy drinks?
Yeah, I do.
What do you
I'm
do?
like fucking hooked on caffeine is like my vice. Usually like peach Red Bulls. Yeah, I love those things, man.
I
It's like,
loathe Red
It's like,
Bulls.
yeah, I saw you drinking one. I was like, I got one in my fucking van. I drank on the way here. It's like eating a goddamn peach. It's so good.
I'm normally not like an energy drink guy, and especially the kind that have preservatives that I don't like. But during the
It's like 90% of them.
right, that's why I like the Rockstar Green one because it doesn't. But when we were recording, though, I was drinking Red Lines, like the
Holy
the
shit.
ones like
Yeah.
Bro,
that.
I watched a grown man on steroids not realize he's only supposed to drink half of that at the gym.
No, they got new ones, so it's in like a can. It's not like that red bottle, you know.
Do you remember that shit though? Where you
Yeah.
could only drink half of it? They're like,
Yeah.
I would
"Don't
never drink
all
half of it. I was always,
Yeah.
I would drink the whole bottle. I remember them.
Sweating, shaking.
I
Yeah.
watched a giant. I
You're
watched,
not because you want to be. Like,
oh yeah, dude. I watched one of those red lines like literally defeat a giant. When I was young, in high school and in shape and wrestling and things like that, I would go to the gym, and now I don't. But when I did go,
Same.
I watched this fucking huge dude, huge, definitely roided up for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I watched him not realize that he was only supposed to drink half of that.
Okay.
And he was destroyed. I'm like, this is how I destroy big people. Just fucking blow darts with red line in them.
Yeah.
Was he shaking and stuff? Or
Oh,
what?
bro. He was like, I was working out with him.
Uh-huh.
And this dude that was training me was like, we need to get the fuck out of here. I'm like, I am
Yeah.
not okay. He's like, are you old enough to drive yet? I'm like, I have a permit. He's like, good. This is not happening. Like, we needed to get home now.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Wild.
black out and probably never wake up.
Dude, it was wild. Chris, how's Bodacious, buddy?
Good. Doing, we got all kinds of cool merch bundles on our Bandcamp that Bodacious is making. Hats, shirts, tank tops, I'll pre-order this new album and stuff. So yeah, doing good. Upgrading the trailer. Just got a new heat press. Got all kinds of new shit.
Well, me and you are about to be in some some talks here soon too.
ready for it.
After what your wife brought me, I was
Yeah,
blown
that
away.
cool ass hat you're wearing.
Cool ass hat. Represent. Dude,
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of
Bodacious
people
is
want this shit too.
pretty
A lot of people
bodacious.
I'm working with like, fuck, you get that? I'm
Yeah.
like, right here.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah, we got all kinds of cool merch bundles that Bodacious is doing. We got a few different shirt designs, tank tops for the girls, hats, all kinds of cool stuff.
Hell yeah.
tvtragedy.bandcamp.com.
I love it. Absolutely love
Pre-order
it.
that album.
You guys want to
Hell
take a piss break? Does anyone have to pee?
I do.
I always do.
I have to pee.
All right. We are going. Also, we're going to do one of those piss breaks. Hold on. We'll be right back after we pee. And we are back. We have all peed.
Ta-da!
We had a
Wow.
quick cigarette. It was nice. I feel a lot
Refreshed.
better now. Yeah,
Yes.
very refreshed.
Quite refreshing.
It's a great cigarette.
Okay, so we were just outside smoking cigarettes, and I didn't even want to bring it up, but you guys were all talking about some of your favorite songs on the new album coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Joey, let's start with you.
Oh yeah.
Well, I like them all. I was just saying though outside that War is probably my favorite right now
And this is off the new album coming out.
off the new album.
Yeah, that's our single.
War
that is
Incorporated.
out right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, the new single that's out. Excuse
Yep,
me.
on our Bandcamp.
What makes this your favorite?
Just the diversity on the song. Mouse's lyrics, how it switches between Spanish and English is really cool.
Very sexy.
Of course, Joe's riffs and Chris's drums for sure. This one was one that I was really trying to find my niche on playing bass. So it's got kind of a maybe a little bit too complicated bass line. I gave myself a little bit of work, like I was saying outside. But
Worth it though.
yeah, practice makes better. So either way, though, I like the song a lot.
Excellent. So, Mouse, do you speak fluent Spanish?
Yeah.
Tell the audience something extremely sexy in Spanish right now.
Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh, give it to me.
that's awkward.
I'm glad I'm wearing these headphones.
Good.
Whisper it.
You're on my show.
I have no idea what to say.
Man,
honestly.
he was
How
thinking
about-
of something. He's blushing.
Yeah,
How about the cheese is old and moldy?
How do you say
Ooh,
that?
can you say-
Queso está viejo y I don't know how to say moldy. But
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to say moldy either.
Queso está
I forgot.
bien viejo. It's really old.
Sounds awesome.
The cheese is really
cheese is
old.
really old.
But
That's hot.
the Spanish lines in War Incorporated are van destruyendo nuestras vidas. El progreso no se ve. Se aprovechan de la gente porque la guerra es un negocio.
What does that
Which
translate
is,
to?
They're destroying our lives. The progress remains unseen. They're taking advantage of people because war is business.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
fucking deep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's super deep. On the next album, you have to do it
Yeah.
reversed, where your Spanish lines are English and the rest is Spanish.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I think the Casualties did that where they just like recorded like
Yeah.
an entire album and like the whole album was in Spanish. Like,
Have you spoke Spanish your whole life?
yeah, it was my first language.
Really?
Yeah, but I stumble through it now honestly because like in like elementary school like kids don't want to play with the kid who wants to speak Spanish, so it like honestly got shamed out of me and
Really?
yeah, it actually happens quite often. I was talking to my nephew, and he's like going through the same thing where like they're like, "You can't speak Spanish here," and like so like
It's also in
Whoa.
Havasu though too.
yeah,
I have
Small
some
town.
questions.
Different
about, like,
crowd in Havasu.
has this always been a thing? I mean, I grew up around a lot of people. I don't speak any fucking Spanish, but like I'd never look down on someone for it. Is this like common?
I think it honestly probably is more common than people think. Like
I would assume so. Yeah.
like
makes-
in a prominently English speaking country, like
Yeah, there's a lot of assholes.
it's like
Yeah.
speak English or
So-
get out.
Yeah.
So
You started seeing that as a kid?
oh yeah, definitely.
Really? Like
yeah, like
ele-
first grade. Like
No way.
yeah, because like I learned English when my brother started going to school because he had to learn English like on the fly. So, like, he tried to like kind of prepare me for it, but like, yeah, it was rough.
Are you originally from here?
Yeah.
What about your
I was-
family?
They're from Jalisco,
Where's that?
Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah,
Definitely a guess. I just don't want.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that
Like,
like
no,
North
motherfuckers, it's
Central?
Peru.
Yeah.
My family came here from El Grullo, Jalisco, and shout out to El Grullo, all my homies back there. And I don't know, like my mom grew up in East LA, so like still probably speaking mostly Spanish because it's LA, and California's got a lot of love for Mexicans.
When did you get to,
Especially East LA, yeah.
But,
Oh yeah, L.A. area especially.
Yeah,
When did you get to Arizona?
well, I was like raised out here.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
my mom moved out here to escape the gang life.
Gangster.
Yeah, my mom's awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
His
She's
mom's an OG.
Mom's an OG.
Yeah.
I love my mom too. Yeah.
She's done
Yeah,
things.
shout out to the moms too.
You gotta shout out
Yeah.
the moms.
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
Shout out to the moms.
Shout out to the moms. Wow, that's wild. So you say your nephew's going through it right now?
Yeah, he's like, I think he's living in North Dakota.
Oh
So,
wow.
like-
Yeah, I bet that's tough.
I bet that's super tough.
So
if you
yeah,
speak Spanish.
he's like in it's like his first language too. So like it's like the exact same situation where like out on the playground, like if you're speaking Spanish, like no one's gonna play with you. So yeah, it's weird. It sounds stupid and like
no,
Bunch
it
of
sounds
dicks.
and,
very
like, a little thing,
relevant.
but it's like
Well, there's a language barrier.
You're thinking
Makes
of
it kinda
little
hard,
kids, you
I
know.
guess.
These
Uh-huh.
kids don't really know better. It's just like, oh, that's weird. I don't understand what you're saying. So,
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
so it's probably
That's
not
fine.
like from a place of hate, but it like does put you in a place of shame. When
do you
you're, like,
mind
the one
saying how old
speaking
your
it.
nephew is?
He's like 6.
Holy
7,
shit.
I don't know.
That's got to be rough.
Yeah.
That's how you make like really good punk rockers, though.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's how you super make like the best punk rockers ever.
Write down how you
Mhm.
feel right now.
Yeah.
You'll thank me
What's
later.
pissing you off right now?
Well, that's just it. Like none of those kids in North Dakota can read it. It's in Spanish.
Ooh.
But that's,
Oh,
did you first learn how to write in Spanish?
No.
No.
By the time I was like writing out, it's English.
Gotcha. That's wild though,
Yeah.
man. Like I think that's a fucking super huge divide that, especially at that young of an age, that
Totally.
maybe because you don't get that shit. Maybe if you're lucky till 5th grade, you're like, oh, this kid's just from somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's not something that comes as knowledge to kids that are 6
Yeah.
by any means.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like, as a parent, if that's happening to your kid, you probably don't even, like, think twice about it. Because, like, in elementary school, they had, like, special programs where they would, like, if you were Mexican, you were going to this, like, extra class where it's, like,
I guess so.
this is how you speak English. And
Yeah.
so, like, at that point, I was already speaking English more than Spanish, but they still put me in that class anyways, just because it's like, well, now you need to help the rest of them speak English. And
Yeah.
so it's
It's like, wait, that's
Kind
what
of
you're getting paid for.
totally fucked up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember when I was in grade school, at least at my first public school here in Arizona, a lot of the teachers were bilingual.
Mhm.
So like, I definitely recognized kids that didn't speak English, but because the teacher could always talk to them, I never really thought of them any differently.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like we would still go play tetherball or whatever the fuck you play tag. Like the rules of kids games are so simple. You know what I mean? But that's insane, man. So do you have like more lyrics that you want to write in Spanish? Like do you want to keep doing things like this?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's a really cool dynamic it adds.
It was
to
a really cool thing to just like plug in because it's just like the opening part and then it's like repeated in the song, but
Right.
it's just like a couple lines in Spanish and then the rest of the song tells you what those lines are about, basically.
Nice.
It goes into detail.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool song.
it's self-explanatory.
So that's one of your favorite songs then too, it seems like. I mean,
I mean, it's definitely up there. If I was to pick a favorite, it'd be Qualified Immunity.
I knew you were going to say that because it's a good one.
It's so
it's-
good.
It hits so personal to the band itself because when we first started the band, there's a guy named Devin who played bass and he ended up leaving the band for his own reasons and, kind of doing his own thing. But like a few years later, we found out that he ended up getting shot in his own room by the police.
Holy
Yeah,
shit.
they like stormed his house and like there's a whole video about it and stuff. But it was rough.
Mhm.
So like this whole like
Did he
cops
make it?
killing people thing
no.
is like
Nah.
it hit close to home, And it's not because he was black or Mexican or anything. He's a little white dude, but
It's because like
it's the way it goes.
he was in his bed. He saw someone break into his room. He had a knife next to his fucking bed. He grabbed it and they shot him because of that. Like, that's qualified immunity. You can get off as a cop for doing that kind of stuff. And that's what the song's about.
I'm pretty sure the one responsible just got paid leave on that one too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You get paid vacation.
Yeah.
Dude,
Just so you're mentally okay to go out there and kill again.
it's wild, man. It's so crazy when it comes to cops because, and everyone's gonna call me a total poser after this episode for sure. But I did grow up, like I have some family in law enforcement and stuff, and now that I'm older, he's told me, he's like, what he does now, I'm not going to say his name or anything. I thought about having him on the podcast, but I don't know. That's later down the line when I get some leverage and shit. Because I love him to death. And what he does is, he does scenario training now and gun cage work to make sure shit like this doesn't happen.
That's awesome.
And it's cool because, Chris, you're a dad.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine like having to call cops, like something happened to your kid? Like, it's so shitty. Yes, we need cops, but we need good cops. Like,
Yeah, it's a fucked up system. They breed bad cops. There's a system of power and authority that is exercised too much. Most of the training is on killing people and staying alive instead of mitigating situations.
Yeah.
And that's where the problem is. And also, the power corrupts absolutely. I mean, once you have that kind of power, you need training on how to manage it.
yeah. And for me, I worked in hair salons for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You need more hours to be someone that does hair than a cop. It's wild, you know what I mean? And so when people are like defund the police, I'm like, I don't think that's how it works. Like, I think if anything, like we should fund, something better to check these guys out mentally.
Well, that's
or
the
something. You know what
that
I mean?
was the whole
Like,
idea behind defund the police. Like,
Stop
defund
buying
the
them
police
tanks and fucking
and
fund
Yeah.
their training. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Less
Like,
weapons, more education.
so there's a
Yeah.
federal program to give police officers around the United States old military equipment. I don't know if you've realized in the last 4 or 5 years, these cops have gotten brand new equipment.
of course.
So the military is subsidizing brand new equipment to these police departments, and that is scary to me.
yeah, it is frightening. There's nothing more frightening than when someone gets that much power. We were afraid when the president got into,
yeah.
Everyone was, even now, like whether it be Trump or Biden, like someone having that much power is a scary thing.
Mm-hmm.
Police officers, government, anything. It's frightening.
You need checks and balances that actually work. And I don't know if there's much checks and balances with the police department and that kind of stuff as a whole. I mean, every police department's different. I mean, you have different towns that actually care about their community.
Yes.
And you have other towns that are on patrol to just control their community.
Yes.
Like
That's
Ferguson. That's
yes.
crazy, dude.
That's a really good example, I think, rather than to protect the community, control the community.
Yeah.
I think you said it perfectly, and call me a poser again, but it sucks when there are good cops under a really bad umbrella. Because I've heard from, other cops that I've talked to and things like, oh yeah, there are definitely tribes in this shit that like people don't agree with.
Police unions
Mhm.
are very powerful, and that's why there's a lot of corruption, because police unions, they have outside pull with like politics and all that kind of stuff, big
Absolutely.
business. So that's something to consider as well.
Of course.
I just want to clarify too. Like when I wrote the lyrics to this song, it wasn't meant to be like a fuck you to police officers, because like I've got a few cop friends myself, but it is just throwing out there the idea that like they shouldn't have the ability to get away with all these things.
Yeah, just accountability, you know, for their actions
Yeah,
like
I
everyone
mean,
else.
some of the main
Accountability.
lyrics
Couldn't have said it
are,
better
we
myself,
want
Chris.
police
Yeah.
accountability. It's
Yeah.
like repeated in the song
that's
over
the
and
main
over.
lyric
And
in the
because
song.
there isn't,
That's it.
I think all cops are bastards. I don't think they have to be though,
I like that too. Yeah.
because
Yeah, they don't have to. Be. That's
they back
exactly
each other. I mean, look at any situation where it's on the news,
Mhm.
right? You have other cops that are standing by, and there's usually one guy that's the piece of shit, right? Well, they're all pieces of shit because they let the guy do it. They don't intervene. They're like, hey, bud, maybe you should pump
Yeah,
brakes on your.
what's the line? It's
on your shit.
silenced by the code that they can't it shouldn't testify against their own. You know,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah,
hold people
no,
accountable for
it's
their actions, like
the good
everybody
old
else.
boy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
No
Um,
matter who you are, you do something
yeah.
fucked up.
Because
you're
of the
responsible.
system
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
currently exists. I hate to say it, but I think they're all bastards,
Of course, you know, like, and
and they don't need to be though.
yeah,
Until they prove
absolutely.
you wrong.
I
They
and
all-
like
Yeah.
I think you stand at like a really good point. Like all caps are bastards unless they don't want to be. You know what I mean? Because I know a few guys that don't want to be. You know, they are trying, but you know, you can only do so much. You know,
And you can
Like-
try to be the good cop though.
of course.
But the system though, the unions, the people that you work with, that'll change your mindset.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, you guys write pretty fucking hardcore, for sure. And I love it. I love that shit. What do you think? I don't want to say like this is very vague, but like when it comes to the influence, you know what I mean? Like it's so easy to put information in front of us, but a lot of it is information that we want to hear. No matter what you believe in, you can find the information that you want to hear.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So
Yeah,
when it
find
comes,
your own propaganda.
of course, so many people find their own propaganda. But what you guys have told me, and I've heard, and things like that, like although the lyrics are very like upfront and fucking punch you in the face, you guys have a very specific lane. It seems like you're trying to hit as far as the message.
Yeah, the message is we want it to be better.
Yeah. It's not like a whole like we hate everything. You know, it's like.
Mhm.
We're not
Things-
happy with
things
shit.
can be
Yeah.
better, you know. Like
Don't
there's a
want
lot
the
of
division.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid
Mhm.
shit happening that could be prevented, you know.
Yeah,
Like it's not like let's just fucking fuck everybody, burn everything down. It's like, hey, we need to realize these things are happening and can be better, can be changed, you know. Like
We want to burn the system that currently exists.
yeah,
yeah,
You know, because it doesn't need to be that way.
of course.
It could be way better.
Chris, especially you, like you're the father here.
Yeah.
So I think your opinion is extremely valid because, you know, if something were to happen to your kid or anything like that, you know, you probably have to call cops.
see,
And-
that's a weird line for me because like as a kid, like I went through some really bad things with my mom going through shit, and like I did call cops and they didn't show up, you know, and like I went through these things where as a child I knocked on a neighbor's door and asked to call the police when they were just like, nah, go away, kid. And I'm just like, no, I need to call the police to help my mom. And I do, and they don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like at 7 years old, like that really taints my view on things.
Of course.
So for my kids, I don't tell them to necessarily hate cops, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I would never do that. I'm not going to teach them to hate anybody. Like that's not something to instill in anybody.
Which takes a lot of balls being a punk rock dad. I'm just sorry. Like, that's fucking huge. Like,
Yeah,
to be
like-
a punk rock dad
Yeah.
and tell your kids, like, hey, we shouldn't hate anybody.
Yeah, like, and I
You
walk
shouldn't,
this
though.
line of, look, like, I'm not going to tell you to hate anybody, but it's apparent that I don't trust these people, you know? And, like, you don't rely on these things or these systems in place. Like, we've got to look out for each other. Like,
Yeah.
you need to look out for your sister. You need to look out for your brother. We're looking out for you. Like,
Probably like, think about what's going to happen if they don't help you out. What's your plan B?
yeah, that's exactly, it's not
It's more of a plan
it's not
A
that
at
we hate
point.
these people. It's that, you know, we've got to rely on each other more than we have to rely on anything else,
Mhm.
you know, because in the bottom line, like your mom's here, your dad's here, your siblings are here. We're the ones here every day in your house helping you out. Like, okay, this police officer showed up in your class today and taught you this. Cool. Respect that to this point, but realize, like, we're not preaching to our kids anything, but I feel like they're going to grow to understand who we trust, who we don't trust, what we do believe in. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to teach them to hate anybody, but I'm going to teach them to rely on themselves and each other and their peers and surround themselves with the right people to get through things. Because, I mean, in reality, that's what you got. Because people say this, oh, who's going to call if something like this happens? My truck got stolen. I called the cops. They showed up 4 hours later. I still don't have my truck. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit happens with my mom as a kid. They don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I do as a child? I'm taught to call 911 in school. I did. Nothing happened. Nothing was resolved. Like, I'm lucky my mom's alive type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Kind of like that scene in The Big Lebowski where his car got stolen. Yeah. He's in the lot looking for his car, and the cop's like, "Oh yeah, we've got people casing the city. Like we've got people
taking shifts on it.
Yeah, right. Like no, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
my work van got broken into, and they blamed it on me. Like, okay. That was my fault that someone broke into my van.
Oh, you're just trying to get an insurance claim or some shit, right?
That was heavily implied. I mean, they didn't say, but still, yeah. They broke into my van, stole all my shit, and it was my fault. I was like, okay, cool. Glad I called.
You shouldn't have left glass on your doors.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, after we wrap this shit up, we're going to eventually we're going to pack all this shit into Austin's truck. He's like, I'm going to Phoenix for the night, though. I'm like, maybe we'll just leave it at the soup for the day.
So like, I'm not going to teach my kids to hate anybody. And it's a fine line to walk as a parent, like teaching my kids to question authority, to stand up for what they believe in. If my son gets in trouble for getting in a fight and he gets suspended, why'd you get in a fight? Oh, I'm defending this kid. It's like, all right, that's the right thing to do.
Yeah, right.
Like,
or I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Like,
you got to find it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So like, I'm teaching them to walk this line of questioning authority while still, you have to have moral values, you can't just say fuck everything, so.
Do you think authority, I mean, the crazy thing is we've never been more communicated than any time in history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As soon as we hear something happens, we hear half the story in 5 minutes on the news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Half the story, yeah.
Like we hear half the story on the news
Mhm.
immediately.
Yeah.
Like 5 dead, cop shot them. Like, oh, those 5 dudes had AK-47s or something. You know what I mean? Who knows? But like, it happens all the time. Like either side, rather the cops were wrong, cops were right. But it's crazy because we are so quick to jump on things.
Well, yeah, it's entertainment, and they do a good job at entertaining people and grab that attention, which can be toxic.
We got songs about that too on the album.
TV tragedy.
Yeah.
If you had to say, what does a riff like that sound like with no guitar?
Which one?
Any of them. I mean, with all this fucking crazy shit, how would you write a riff to that? Just do it with your mouth, please.
Do those mouth things you do.
Damn it! I do the drums.
Okay.
I'll beatbox a beat.
This is a great idea.
the worst thing ever. That's how it's
That's an open E right there.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Just write it for
That's
a while.
really good.
Heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah. I mean, it comes with a lot of feeling too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The followed by
Like fuck the 3 chords. We're doing ones.
3 chords is too systematic.
Oh.
I love the way that, especially with, I've got to hear a little bit when Chris was last on my podcast. I can't remember what episode number, but anyways, when Chris was on my podcast, he was like, hey, off camera, let me show you a little bit of this TV tragedy we've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, highly impressed.
Leaks.
You weren't supposed to tell them.
Right?
Oh, fuck.
I didn't tell them about all the people I showed them.
I definitely didn't email anybody. Nope, didn't send anything to anyone. No.
Thanks for not saying anything. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's been pretty quiet.
Yeah.
But he showed me on his phone. I got to listen, and it's really cool because as strong as your guys' lyric and message is, it's very direct. You know what I mean? It's this fine line. I think, bands come out with kill everyone that doesn't agree with you. Kill everyone that does not agree with you. I'm like, wow, that's a fucking intense punk song you got there. Yeah. But it's cool to hear this specific lane of how you guys, I don't know, whether to direct hatred or direct attention to certain points.
There's a lot of calling for change and hope for like a better future, and like
That's what
trying
it is,
to have
yeah.
a vision of like what we could be as a human race instead of like where we are now.
What does that look like for you? Like when you say like a different human race, and it's so easier said than
That's a
done.
deep one.
But like, what does that look like? I mean, as punk rockers who are trained to hate everything, you know, we like, what if? Okay, now we don't hate anything. How do we write punk music? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, what does that look like?
Probably to sum it up in one word, and I'm sorry, unity.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
As one, stand together.
Yeah.
no, really, yeah. Like we
Well,
that's,
I mean,
that's the goal. Like, let's.
What are you saying, Joe?
oh no,
we
I
hate
was gonna say, like
divides.
I'd say like it's not more about like sending a different message than others. I think it's more we just present what's happening.
Ideas to think.
Yeah,
of.
like we have a song called "Destroy." Well, it names all these terrible things that are going on in the world that people just kind of don't care about. You know, so it's more about bringing to attention what is happening and like, yeah, this stuff sucks. You guys should know about it. Like. Instead of just like ignoring it and being like, you need to do this. There's no reason why you should be doing this. We're just telling you like, hey, this all sucks.
Right?
Probably shouldn't be doing this. Like
Does it piss you off like it pisses us off?
some of Mouse's lyrics from Destroy, like since the day you were born, you've been spoon fed lies. It's the opening line. It's a pretty like politically charged like lyric, but it's also pretty true. Like with all
It's
the media
factual,
going
yeah.
on, you're just constantly fed all this misinformation. Like, yeah, there's still some facts hidden in there somewhere, but as like a young adult growing up, you don't know which is true, which isn't. So you're just constantly being fed these like manufactured like facts and stuff. And it's just something you should know about. Like you honestly probably don't know half the things that are actually going on in the world. And he uses a lot of strong lyrics, like both for, or not for, but like against a lot of things that are going on, like the child trafficking is going on, the inhumane treatment of animals is all kind of just packed into this one song about like, hey, everything sucks, and it's all for a bigger slice of the pie. Like people will do these god awful things to get what they want, and it's more of like presenting the message. It's not like, hey, stop what you're doing and kill everybody. It's like, hey, this stuff sucks.
Open your eyes a little bit. You know, like, hey, if you guys haven't seen this, like, let's shine a little bit of light here.
Yeah.
And everyone will form their own opinion. You know what I mean? But
exactly. Like I feel like that's more of our like take on things. Is like most of our songs is more just bringing light to the situation. Like he's saying about qualified immunity. Like yeah, like this is happening. We need this accountability to go on. Or war. We're talking about like yeah, they are literally manufacturing lives for the sake of progress. Pretty much all of our songs. Wake Up is against like media taking over the world.
ooh, really good fucking point too.
Yeah, like it's people spend 90% of their day staring at a screen. Like I mean, my field is computer technology, and I hate it, but like it's still it's a thing that happens, and people need to like think about it. Like
And it's so crazy too. You know, to write off your coattails a little bit. But when you have these issues, you know what I mean? Like when you have these issues and you shine like a sort of light on them, it's cool because the news gets money off of clicks now. And it's tough, you know what I mean? Because the news used to get money off of newspapers, and it was journalists breaking stories and things like that. Now it's just like it's an attention grabber. You know what I mean? Like how quickly can I grab your attention? And that's not what news should be. Yes.
Yep, it's all clickbait.
Absolutely. And I'd be the first to admit I'm a huge victim.
Yeah, I mean-
Like how could
We
you
gotta
not?
get yours too, man.
Dude, I fucking saw something the other day and I didn't even click on it. And I almost messaged somebody because I was so fucking stoned. But like it said like Rancid, like members of Rancid, Pennywise, and suicidal tendencies forming supergroup.
Yep.
And it's probably true, but I didn't even click on it. Like I was like, that sounds sick, and just kept scrolling.
Yeah, don't scroll slow on it either, because that's part of the
They'll
algorithm.
track you. Yeah.
Are you shit?
It's how much time you spend on a certain area.
Yeah,
of your
while
screen.
you're scrolling, yeah.
You're kidding me.
I did
That's
not know
data
that.
that they track, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I work with for school. It's AI tracking. It's how much time you spend on a certain area.
Mhm.
So if you even like slowly scroll past a certain picture of like a certain band, like, oh, they like this band more than the other band, they just flip through.
And
Okay, no
also,
offense, but
they
you're-
also, like, if you scroll
That's
and you're like,
fucking
oh, that's
scary,
cool. Wait,
man.
let me go back.
Yeah,
That's
if you
another
ever go
part
back,
of the
yeah.
algorithm.
Whoa,
yeah.
whoa, okay. No offense at all, but you've been the quietest here, and you obviously have way more insight on shit like this.
He's
than any
very
of
smart.
us. Yeah,
Don't
you seem to
sleep
be
on
the
the quiet.
you're the
Yeah,
smartest
don't
person
sleep
in the
on
room.
him.
So tell us a little bit about what you do just in your day to day when you're not with this band.
Oh, well, I'm school full time for computer science and AI. Yeah, I build algorithms for.
Robots?
Yeah, I want to know the
For the stuff
insides
we're talking
to
shit about.
stop the robot. Yeah, like I don't like the stuff we're talking about, so I want to learn the insides of it and see how to like not do it.
What does that look like? I know this
That's
is like
hard.
very, very vague, but like I'm so dumb. But like, what does that look like?
There's
like,
a Netflix documentary called
The so-
Coded Bias.
Coded Bias.
Watch it. Yeah.
I saw The Social Dilemma, which I was highly interested. I don't know if you guys ever seen The Social
That's another
Dilemma,
one.
but
But
it's
Coded Bias goes deeper into it about like the people that create the code, the stuff like, and their maybe like subconscious bias that they don't even realize they're doing while they're making the code.
so Joe, you're going to school. Like, what is the end goal after school? Like, do you just want to? Are you going to be this like internet Robin Hood? I'm just confused. I'm not smart.
In a way, I want to freelance for projects that I feel will actually make a difference.
Robin is
yeah.
the best thing I've ever
That's the
heard.
new song.
Robots,
title.
maybe?
Yeah, now I feel like I have to do that. Like that's now what I have to do. I have to, No, but that's my main thing is I want to do stuff that's actually going to benefit anything in the future. Like originally I went in for robotics and I switched my career path to AI just because I feel like that's something I can more directly influence. Because like we were talking about, big
Yeah.
data is everywhere you look. Like even this podcast we're doing right now, that's going to be farmed by so many companies just to get data. So I wouldn't learn
You
how to,
didn't know you were a farmer, huh?
yeah.
Dude, I'm a farmer.
Yeah, they're profiting
I
off
read all
of
the time.
you.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
the second you
right.
upload this to anywhere but like your computer right there, it's free reign. But
Well, lucky for me, it's Jeremy's computer.
yeah,
So
yeah. But a lot of my teachers have given me some like thumbs up because like I like to write about the opposite of what most of the other people are writing about. Like they're like more like
really,
going with the programs of big data and stuff. I like to like go outside of their like stream. So instead of like mining for likes and stuff like that, like I'll go around and like try to find what they're actually interested in based off of like previous, like going way back to their likes and stuff. Instead of like,
Oh,
oh, they maybe
own
they just saw
algorithm.
something that caught their eye and they scrolled back to it instead of like going back to it because they liked it. Like sometimes like my finger slips. Like so it's just more of like I want to do more genuine, more real stuff versus.
would you relate
Um,
yourself into like something that, or again, I'm being very vague because I'm so dumb, but like, do you want to get into some sort of security aspect or
No, I've been in the security industry for 12 years, like alarms and stuff like that, and it's not.
I guess like to go back on like security aspect, like, but the things that you're telling us about how people are getting our information, and
That's
you,
not even.
you seem
like,
to know how to
hidden.
Well,
prevent
there's
it.
code security, and that's kind of a new concept, which kind of sucks because there should have been a long time ago.
Yeah, so like what he's saying, like there's a lot of things that people don't know have been passed that protect your security, but you have to opt in for it. A lot of people just like it's hidden behind like menu after menu. But you can opt out of most of these things, but people don't know about it because they don't have to publically tell them about it. Like,
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of example of this? I mean, we can, me and you can obviously
Yeah.
do another podcast later and talk way more about this because this is wild to me.
Well, so Google in general, they automatically collect all your data unless you go into like it's like 3 different menus. You go to settings, security, and then like permissions. You could actually turn off them collecting the data constantly.
Yeah.
And they have to ask for it every time, but nobody does it because they don't like. You
There's stuff
install
on-
Chrome, you're like, oh, it's Chrome.
It's
It's
not
whatever.
common knowledge.
Yeah.
There's stuff on Facebook too. Like Facebook assumed I was straight up liberal, I guess.
Yeah.
I think they assume
Whether
I'm
that's
a
true or not
prostitute.
doesn't matter, but like they classified me as that. And there's a setting that you can turn off that they don't collect that data.
Really?
Fucking really. It's crazy, dude.
That's wild. Okay, I'm gonna have to talk to you off camera
so that's
or
probably,
something
like,
like
a little
that.
way off track, but
yeah, way off track. But
So we
it-
got a new album.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's CDs.
So like all this feeds into like what the music that it is that we write. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Like you're
Yes.
right. All influences this stuff. Like
And these are very like it's so cool because these are very real messages. Like anyone could say, "Fuck the system, burn it down." You know what I mean? But you guys have a very specific lane. Like, no, burn this down so the so our structure can exist.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
cool. Like
Yeah.
eliminate the cancer so we can have like an awesome government or whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a good way of
There's
living.
always a way to make it better.
Yeah.
you know?
But yeah. Do we have ways to make it better? Do we know of ways to
Through
make
our
it better?
music.
Right? Okay. Through education.
I mean, to be fair, I also
Yeah.
throw some real tinfoil hat conspiracies at Mouse. Like, hey, you should write a song about this. And he's probably like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Think about it. Like,
Yeah, like people were hitting the streets and like protesting and stuff not too long ago and stuff.
Of course.
And like
Everywhere too.
I'm not opposed to doing that, obviously, but I had like shit to do, like tattooing and stuff. I had to work,
Yeah.
you know? And like, granted, most of these people are my friends and I'm not talking down on them, but they were like directly talking down on me for not going and protesting. And I was like, dude, I'm in a band.
Yeah.
My music is my protest.
Yeah.
Well, even if it were Chris, you're like,
it-
dude, I got kids.
that was my argument like last summer. Like when people are hitting me, I was like, yo, I got kids. Like I gotta stay home and take care of them. I gotta make sure I'm safe. I want nothing more than to be on these fucking front lines doing
Hell
this
yeah.
shit and yelling. But like I got kids, that's why I write the music that I write.
Was
Like,
there
that's-
like a weird like day one day where like this is like where I draw the line, like no more protests, like dad stuff? Like was there anything like that?
Dad stuff.
Not really. It really came to realization last summer, you know, when everybody's in the streets, all that George Floyd stuff, and like I wanted nothing more to be there. And it's like,
Definitely.
man, like this is like what I've always talked about. This is what I've always been fucking preaching and pushing on people, like all of this change. Like this is what I want. And it's like, but I see my kids, you know, and everything. It's like, but I have to be here. Like I'm so happy this is happening, but I have to be here. So I'm going to write this song, or like, I'm going to at least share this, or I'm going to share this person's fund or this person's charity for this. You know what I'm saying? Like there's ways to help without being out there on the street, which is something that I came to realization with over the past year, because I would be that person out there. Like I would love to be out there walking with people and like standing for something better.
Also,
like-
it's more effective.
Yeah. And
Well-
like, but I got to make sure I'm safe. Like I have to be safe for my kids. I can't put myself in jeopardy
Totally.
to do something that like I can't get to work tomorrow. I can't be like in the morning to make breakfast for my kids. You know, like I have to be home when my wife goes to work. And
Can't
it's a
get
weird,
arrested.
yeah, exactly. Like,
You
it's a
know?
weird thing to grasp with, because like in a weird way, like, oh, I sold out, I got to go to work. But it's like, no, I'm taking care of people that I want to make things better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like me going and getting arrested at a protest is not going to do anything for my kids' future, but taint their view on things and shit like that. Whereas at home, I could have this on TV. I could be talking to my kids about this. I could be telling my son like, hey man, like, what's your belief on this? Here's how I feel, like, you know, things like that, as opposed to like out there.
When you have to draw those lines, because I know you have to look at everything. You really do with what you're dedicated to in your craft, especially.
Yeah.
First of all, you're part of a few bands. Second of all, you make merch for all these bands, and then third of all,
Yeah.
you're a father who also works another job. And so when you look at these kind of protests and things, maybe that you agree with, but then you see like the result of it, do you see any sort of like ignorance in like these people that like try to get you out? And I know that's such like a hard thing to say, but it seems that you're very responsible because you want to try to take down these things in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like we were all young, we
Yeah,
all
no,
want to
like,
fuck the
I don't-
system and
I
burn
don't
shit
really
down.
see
I give
it.
props to anybody who was out there hitting the streets, because I know there was a lot of like bricks getting thrown back at them, and like
Yeah.
you know, like,
And,
the,
like,
of course,
the gas
for sure.
canisters like getting shot straight at people and stuff. Like
Yeah, like I wouldn't
Not
feel
fun.
like ignorance for that, because I
okay,
would be that person. You
I
know
guess
what
I'm
saying?
I guess I'm
Like,
not
There's a lot
saying
of
like
police
not
instigated
for
bullshit.
you to feel ignorant,
yeah.
but like, are you seeing ignorant people in the movement that you want to move? That's
I mean, yeah,
I know that's
there's
very wild.
assholes everywhere. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? They're gonna take it too far, whatever it is.
Ignorant
But,
people like to stay ignorant.
Yeah. I mean,
It seems
but
like.
I'm a bigger message kind of person, you know, like
Yeah.
I can, like, same reason I'm not gonna tell my kids to hate cops.
right.
You know what I'm saying? There's a bigger message to this. I'm not gonna focus on these few people that are fucking things up for the greater good, because the greater good, you know what I'm saying?
Your oldest is a teenager.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, 15.
Yeah, he's about to be 15.
about to be 15.
Great age.
Does this like weird line, like how you say, like, like don't, not teaching your kids to hate all cops. It must be a weird line once they get to that age.
So it's weird because he lives in Prescott. His mom is half black. He's a quarter black. That town is very racist.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes,
so
it is.
when these things are going on, him and his mom, I think were part of like a peaceful protest thing there, and people are dropping N-bombs at them. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's a weird thing for me not coming from that side of it to like wonder what he's experiencing in that and like being scared for him. But he's like a smart enough kid where he's standing up for it. And I'm going to support that 100%.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Can
I'm
we give it up for Chris real quick? That was fucking, that was a fucking statement.
He's got a good head on his shoulders. And like, I'm starting to see what he believes in as he comes into his own. And he's on the right track, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to support that no matter, because he's a fucking sweet kid and he's standing up for the smaller kid when he gets in fights in school. He's standing up against the bullies and shit. He's not like outright. He's a teenager. He's a dick.
Well, that's
You know
what's
what I'm
great
saying?
age.
But
That's
like,
where I found myself.
there's a difference of it. You know
Of
what
course,
I'm saying?
of course.
So it's a weird line to walk with him because like, I mean, if I had the opportunity, I'd be out there walking with him. I'd take him with me if I went to a protest like that,
Right.
because like, I want him to stand up for what he believes in. Like, I want him to show him what people, like the power of a group of people can accomplish, because it's a closed-minded town he lives in, like it's a weird thing that I'm not experienced in, like a whole different worldview that he has separate from what I grew up with.
That must be absolutely fucking bizarre.
It's terrifying. It's
That's
fucking
insane.
terrifying. Like, it's crazy thinking of a teenage kid coming up in this world.
Dude, like just like you're saying to me, like, you're kind of putting yourself in his shoes, or you know what I mean? And it's so crazy that you say that which most of us can say, we can put ourselves in a 9-year-old or like a 15-year-old shoes and be like, I've been there before. But you could, like, a lot of us here can literally say that, like, we have never experienced
I didn't grow
it.
up with social media, you know what I'm saying? I didn't grow up with a phone in my hand, like constantly being bombarded with information, with news. Like 90% of my family, opposite spectrum of me. Like, he's at grandparents' house, it's different beliefs than what I'm believing in, So he's getting influenced by that at the same time of like whatever my parents support, whatever, his parents support, whatever his mom and his stepdad are into. Like,
That's probably good though.
It
getting
gives him a very rounded view of the world, and he has like a level-headed approach to things. It seems
you can take in all that information and make your own decision.
Yeah,
that's
like,
actually pretty cool, dude. Yeah.
Is that a hard balance being something a part of like this?
Yeah, it's fucking weird, man. It's
Gotta be
weird to
super
like.
weird.
Okay, my son and his mom, they're gonna go to church. I don't know if my son really does anymore, but they're going to church every Sunday. I'm gonna pick them up on Friday afternoon in a van with a pentagram on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is a very
I never
strange
thought about that.
balance
That's wild.
of like me being a punk rocker and his mom being a teacher, and like a health coach, and like this positive view on the world where I'm just like, let's fucking burn the system down. And she's like, hey, let's just fucking love each other. You know what I'm saying? So he gets this balance of these things. So he's got kind of his own perspective on anything, which is really fucking cool. But it's also like terrifying in a way, Like,
I'm sure. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I can only imagine molding this own little human being that you've made to be the best parts of yourself and not the worst.
That's
right?
exactly it.
a
Like,
kid,
trying
man.
to
It's gotta
show
be hard.
him my beliefs in a way that it's not gonna force him to think something, feel bad if, like his best friend's dad's a cop. I'm not gonna talk shit about cops when he's around because he likes this kid. His parents are good to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to say my views on things. Like, he might overhear stuff. If he asks me questions, I'm always going to be honest. But I'm not going to be outright like, fuck that kid's parents. You know what I'm
course,
saying?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, every individual's
even though
different,
I
you know
don't
what
get
I mean?
along with them, they don't really like me. It's a mutual agreement. You know what I'm saying? So, like, our kids get along. That's all that fucking matters,
It's one of those weird things too, because like I'm a huge gun guy. Am I conservative?
Guns are cool.
I love guns.
Yeah,
dude.
right? Like,
Guns are sick.
eh.
And like when I hear they want to change gun laws here, I'm like, no. Like, there's already too many guns here. Like, if I can't get those guns, like, we're fucked.
Yeah.
That's how I
don't-
feel. It's
I
stupid.
don't get
to
why
me.
people are kind of uptight about that. The Constitution kind of prevents much. I mean, of course you can regulate, but you can't take your guns away.
No,
Yeah.
it's you know, for
It's
me,
paranoia.
it's too late. You know, like you drop red dye into this beer. How long is it gonna take to get red dye out of that beer? It's too late. It's
Yeah.
fucking already in there. You're getting some red dye. Like no matter how many times you filter
I like
that
pink
shit.
dye.
So you like hentai?
Pink
Shit is
dye.
tight.
I was like, damn, dude.
Yeah, I'm not an anime or porn fan, so yeah, no.
I just thought like that was like the most
Lame.
random time to like, let us know. Like, hey, by the way, guys.
I got a great imagination, so I don't
Everybody
need that
likes
kind of
porn.
stuff.
So guys, shows are coming up.
Yeah,
Shows
with
are
you.
coming.
Shows
Yeah,
with you.
Yes, I'm very excited. I
Two shows
can't
with
wait.
you, buddy.
Great
Dude,
host.
I'm excited. We get to play with you guys on the 5th and the 25th.
No.
No, the 19th and 25th.
There you go.
Yes.
I also play the 5th. Excuse me. But I'm
19th.
excited. I'm super stoked.
Us
Have you ever
too.
been to
playing the
Havasu
fifth?
yourself?
I've never been to Lake Havasu.
Me either.
Dude, really?
No.
Dude, so,
I'm so excited to play that.
like little
Oh,
drop
yeah.
here, but my mom's husband is and she's been married now to this guy for 2 years, a year or so. She's been with him a lot longer. Love him to death. And he's a huge boat guy. He's got this fucking big ass boat, and like that's like his life. They go to Havasu all the time. And mom's like, "You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go." And I've never been. And honestly, like
It's a good
I
time.
love going places with my parents, but I'm so stoked to be going with you guys.
Yeah, we don't have a boat, but
It's
we're gonna have a
okay.
good time.
Yeah, we're gonna have a really fucking good. So what's this venue we're playing? I've never been there.
Me neither.
It's actually a new venue for Havasu.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
So we've never played there before. It's been several different things over the years.
Yeah, you said it was like a restaurant with a big stage or something.
Yeah, so it's a restaurant. That's why we're playing a little bit later in the evening. So it's a restaurant that has like a really nice
I have
sound
no idea
equipment.
what I'm
Yeah.
playing.
It's a place called Romano's. They're actually pretty well established in like Southern California, like Riverside area.
Shout out Ramondo.
Yeah, Romano's,
Oh, yeah.
Sep, Gary, Travis. But they recently opened one in Havasu, and in Riverside they had one with like a really awesome stage playing big bands like Leftover Crack, like As I Lay Dying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just,
Wow.
so they had a really nice place up in Riverside, and then they just moved it down here, and they wanted to keep the live music aspect.
Wow.
So yeah, we're giving them a shot. I don't think anything's really going to be like different, but Havasu's always fun because it's Mouse and I's hometown. We grew up there.
No shit.
Yeah, I was born there in the hospital in Lake Havasu. My feet are on the wall.
Started.
Yeah,
Oh,
TV Tragedies
no
like a
shit.
Havasu
This is the
band.
Havasu
Yeah.
This is the first Havasu band I've ever met.
Yeah, we actually
fuck.
we all moved out here together like 2-3 years ago. Just because we wanted to get out and experience some more things. But anyways, Havasu is awesome. There's a lot of dedicated people out there that love music.
Yeah.
And there's just not a whole
shows.
lot of music out there to see. So whenever a band comes through, like everyone just gives it their
Yeah.
all, and it's a great time.
Wow.
It's kind of
But,
like that, like on those border towns, like Yuma
Yeah,
is
Yuma
one of them
loves it
too.
too.
Like
Yeah, Yuma.
anybody
Yeah,
that
Yuma's
comes
fun to
through,
play.
Shout out to the
everybody's going to that
scumbags.
show.
Dude, so,
Yeah,
yeah.
holding it down.
Elliot Diggs, who plays in Rundown Roommates, also plays in Painted Fences, and they, he always tells me about Yuma.
You were
And-
sick. Yeah, I
Yeah.
played
Really?
drums with my old band.
Yeah, a
many
lot
times.
of kids out in Yuma that love shows, and there's never any
never
shows.
shows.
So when there is,
way.
they're all there.
Yeah, they're always awesome
Yeah.
too. Like they're super like hospitable. Like we played out there one time. They like cooked us food, hung out for a couple hours
Mhm.
before the
What?
show.
Yep, same.
They're great
Mhm.
people.
I'm not gonna lie, that's
yeah.
that's the
the-
last thing I would expect.
Well, the
Personally,
Scumbags
right?
crew, they were putting on this like intense fest in the desert for a few
Yeah.
years. It's really awesome. They just tow out a stage like on the back of a trailer, and, like bring
In the
out
middle
a
of the
porta
desert.
potty, and everybody just camps out for the whole
Yeah.
weekend. And there's bands from like everywhere coming out from like Vegas, San Diego, LA, like all these
So,
bands
yeah.
just meeting in the desert for like this like
Intense.
DIY show.
Everybody brought their own
Intense.
tents.
You know,
It
it's
was
crazy.
awesome.
Like kind of just right off what you guys are saying, but I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts with comedians. I love them. There's nothing better than
Got
being
it.
at work with my headphones in and just fucking
Yep,
laughing.
same.
Like I'm a huge fan.
Same.
So Tom Segura, I listen to a bunch
yeah.
of his podcasts. I'm a
Mhm.
huge fan, and he was saying that when COVID is kind of happening and things are going on, and we're coming back, people are booking dates. So you better get your fucking dates booked because bands are booking them, comedians are booking them,
Mhm.
like whatever. So Tom Segura announces this world tour or whatever. I don't know why I did this. He's going all around the world. He's going all around the world. But I noticed that his Arizona date was in Maricopa.
What?
And like he
Just look at my
usually like
houses
does
there.
like the arenas, you know, out in
The same
Phoenix
place.
and stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
so immediately I thought, I'm like, it must be booked, you know?
Yeah.
Bands are picking up again, comedians are picking up again, acts are and whatever you say, like plays, orchestra. And I'm gonna say right now, like I'll play Yucca Tap Room till the day I die.
I
Yeah.
love that.
You know what I
place.
mean? And if they need like, you know, like other people like, you want to play Yucca all the time? I'm like, right now I definitely fucking do. Those guys need us again.
Yeah.
And we always needed them.
I've always wanted to play the Yucca, and now that I'm able to, and they like me playing there, it's
Oh my
an
gosh.
honor.
It really is. Like I love playing there, you know, rather it be a whole local band night or a national or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Like I could be an opener there with 7 people and I would still love it.
Yeah,
Like I really, really would.
been there.
I don't think I've ever had a bad time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Like there's always places you go to and you have that one night. It's like, well, maybe like that kind of sucked, but like Yucca never had that. Like
Even if I
on
got
a
off the
slow
stage of Yucca and I sucked, I still had a great time.
and people complain about like weird indie dudes that are kind of like creepy and stuff, but that's what makes it unique. Those people are funny.
That is a very positive
I've-
way of looking at
I've
things.
never had that experience.
Yeah.
What? No
I've
one's trying to
seen
hit on
them.
you at Yucca
Yeah.
yet?
The weird
Nah.
indie dudes.
There's
What does that even mean?
okay, the college crowd.
Oh, like
Dudes
the
with,
typical like 20-year-old.
Are the ones like stepping out of their zone? They're
With
like
nice
dipping their toes
mustaches.
somewhere else.
I
and
guess
they're
if you have a nice mustache, you're an indie person or
Gotcha.
something.
like, trying to say
My
I don't have a
bad.
nice mustache.
No, you don't. It's not flipped up. I'm sorry.
It's not a mustache, and
Dude,
it's
I
It
missed
wasn't
your
like
mustache.
my.
not-
It wasn't
I
like
missed your
my old
mustache.
Yeah, I was
mustache.
like, wait a
Dude.
second. Like you had like the
I know.
the
I was
mustache
such.
for the
You had
longest time.
the
I looked.
mustache.
Yeah, they called it the molestache, and that's why I cut it off because
Really?
I looked like one of those guys. at
You
the
know what?
Yucca.
If it was called, I thought you were like a little Captain Hook. Like honestly, I was like, dude, that guy moonshines right there. That's what I thought.
Like when you're
I'm like that
joining
guy
the
rolls
band,
his own
like-
cigarette and fucking makes moonshine.
Mhm.
Yeah, like when you're
You had a
joining
real
the band,
Doc
that's how they
Holliday
described
thing
you.
going on.
It was yeah.
Like the guy
No,
with the
that's what I was
mustache.
going
Like,
for,
oh,
like,
I see that guy
yeah.
all the time. Like I recognized you by it. That's like I was like, oh, that guy. They're like,
Yeah.
he's the guy that has the mustache. He's at the shows all the time. Like, oh, that guy.
The mustache man.
Yeah.
That's
I remember when
that's
you
who I-
shaved it off and Dave called you out at Chopper John's.
Oh, he was
and,
so
like,
pissed.
Made
Like,
you
he
get
cried,
on
I think.
stage.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
Explain
Dave,
yourself.
Dave was more in love with your mustache
Oh my
probably than
God.
his own fiance.
Probably
right
than
now.
more than his
Like,
Yeah, I
child.
think it was a good thing I got rid of it just so Dave would
Leave
me
you alone.
Give his family the love they
Love
deserve.
you, Dave.
The real
I
reason.
love it,
Just to
dude.
throw this out there.
Yeah.
Like I recognized you when I first moved out here from seeing you at PRV because of your mustache.
PBR,
Oh
yeah.
shoot!
Yeah.
It lasted
Oh,
like
yeah.
state lines.
Yeah.
It
And
traveled.
when they were
man.
like, "Hey, he should play bass for you," I was like,
That's
"The
when
guy-
I hung
the guy
out
with the mustache."
That's when I hung out with
yeah,
Earl Liberty
that's the guy. I was like,
from
"Hell
Circle
yeah."
Jerks and Greg Hetson. Yeah.
So,
I gotta grow back
That
now.
must-
no,
Mustache
yeah, no,
got
you
you
do.
into
You
the
do.
liquor.
You definitely need to do that for sure.
Oh shit! All right.
We were kind of
Even
hinting at it
just that.
slowly just by staring at your upper
Everybody
lip.
does.
It was like a sexy Satan kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's what I wanted Satan to look like.
You handsome devil.
Yeah, you can make way more demands.
Thank you. All right, guys. What do you guys want to do this year? We are getting back into things. You guys have.
Gotta hit the road.
I want to
Yeah,
hit
man.
that
Really?
LA Fest.
Yes.
Is what I want
Whoa,
to do.
whoa, whoa! I'm getting a lot of things. Joey,
Yeah.
what do you want to do?
I want to tour. I want to play outside of Arizona or northern Arizona. I've always wanted to do that, so I still want to do that.
Where do you want to go?
Um,
Or what's one spot that you
world.
can think of in your mind? Like, even if it were to be like a 5-person show, like where do you want to go around the country?
maybe the Roxy. I don't know, just because of the lore. But I love San Diego. I don't know where to play there though, but we can figure it out. Definitely. The Double Down in Vegas for sure. That's always my favorite spot. I played there
I
before.
love playing there.
Very honored to have played there. And I love their bathroom. I really do. Just don't take a shit there, please.
Just hover.
Mouse, what about you? Where do you want to play?
I don't even know if
Like,
there's a door
what
on
do
it
you
now.
want to see the next step? I guess. I mean, you guys release this album. You guys get on the like first few shows back. Then what do you want to do?
Well, let's see. Really, yeah, just any time on the road would be greatly enjoyed.
What does the road look like
Um,
to you? Like, what do you like? If you had your dream vision of the road, even like the first 3 days, like, what does that look like to you?
Oh man.
Sleeping in that 666 van.
What's that place in Anaheim? Fucking
Doll Hut.
No, I mean that'd be cool too.
Doll
but
Hut's cool.
The observatory. Are they still throwing shows there?
I don't fucking
I don't know. It's pretty. It's a
Never
pretty
played that
cool
in
place.
Arizona.
It's pretty big and like. I think the last thing I saw them put out on like video was like Jack from TSOL falling off stage because the guitarist from Pennywise like kind of
Fletcher?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he like ran into him, just sent Jack flying off stage. I was pretty worried, but yeah, that was at the observatory, and that'd be pretty cool to play there.
Joe, what about you, man?
I would love to be on the road again. I think I'm the one that's holding everyone back right now because of school.
Great,
But,
great,
yes,
more
I got
school.
you.
Right.
because of me.
Oh,
no,
That's actually why we were having
It's
this
fancy
podcast.
education.
intervention. Yeah.
You're
No,
gonna
but I'm
change the world
actually
with your
doing my
AI.
best to get done this year instead of next year. So, but I would love, like, my goal is to play the 928 Gilman just because I've seen one of my favorite bands ever there, and it was like the best time I had.
Yeah, it's a dream.
I would
I
love to
saw-
play there
That's
too.
It's a dream
yeah,
spot to
dude.
play for sure.
I've never played there.
I
Yeah,
got to
yeah,
see
yeah.
Filth if you know who they are, but I got to see their reunion show out there. I followed them the whole Bay Area. I saw them in Berkeley, I saw them in Oakland, and I saw them in the other one. Can't remember
They
the
got a
name
lot
of
of
it.
rules there, though, so we have to.
There was no rules. I don't know what you're talking about.
Every rule.
We
Yeah.
literally crowd
Break
surfed to
all
do it
the
in a
rules.
wheelchair, so I don't know what rules you're talking about. So,
Yeah, it's. Check it out.
But yeah, 928 Gilman. I would love to play that one just because a lot of my favorite bands growing up played there. Like the East Bay hardcore stuff has just always been my
Do the Operation
Jam.
Ivy shows that you can catch on YouTube if you
old
can find
AFI.
them. Yeah.
That's where they
dude.
got their start.
Like all the.
like,
Yeah. Yep.
like
Chris.
everyone's played
Yep.
there. It's a cool place too. Like
So small too.
if I could end up there, like that'd be awesome. But
Yeah,
I
just
would play it,
touring
yeah.
in general, I was just like a little roadie for Mouse's band when I was just traveling around the West Coast for a little bit in the backpack and found Mouse and his band in the same city I was. I just hopped in the van and that was like the best time I had. So if I could do that again, that'd be awesome.
Get in the van.
Chris, you
I
got
like,
one.
made myself get in there. It's like,
Yeah.
hey guys, you guys are near
We
me.
wedged you in between a couple amps. and
Yeah.
stuff.
So, Chris, I've known you for a few years, and you've had some tour experience.
Yeah.
And the fact that you've even gotten to like, you guys crashed van like in front of like the Full House.
Yeah,
house.
we slept
It's-
in front of the Full House
What?
house.
Yeah.
Set our alarm to the Full House theme song because we had to wake up before the street sweepers came. So like 3:30, and it was like,
You guys did it right.
and we
Everywhere you
like. But so
look.
the next night after that, we played in Ventura, and we played with Urban Waste, like legendary New York hardcore band, and a sick ass band called Barbie and the Hookers. And we all slept in this pirate punk house in Ventura. Dave didn't change his alarm. Him and Aaron are sharing an air mattress in the kitchen, and like 3:30 in the morning, Full House song just starts fucking blasting through the house of all these like legendary punks, been through it all. Who the fuck are these kids from Arizona? Like, and it's just Full House song blasting at 3:30 in the morning.
Fucking tourists.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to see, like, or if you maybe want to experience with this band on the road? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Just everywhere. Like, I love touring. I love being in that band. Like, I've only toured up the West Coast. It'd be cool to go east, you know? It'd be cool to see, you know,
Oh, yeah,
East Coast,
for sure.
fucking the South. You know, I got friends in Louisiana and shit, and they always talk about how cool shows are there.
Yeah,
And
I'd like to go to Tennessee. I know a couple bands over
it'd
there.
be rad. It'd be rad just to go anywhere. Just get out of Arizona. I just want to play some fucking shows. Like,
yeah.
I haven't even played with these guys ever. We might suck live. We
No.
might just be a terrible live
Preaching
band.
to the choir over
We
here.
don't even know.
When people are drunk, it doesn't really matter.
I hope not, but
That's
Yeah.
true. Pretty
Yeah,
sure
we've
he
never
doesn't even
even-
know what a show is.
we've never even played live. We did like an acoustic live stream where I played a hand drum, but that's
Yeah.
about it. That's the only show we've had.
That was our peak, probably.
Yeah, so it's all downhill.
Playing
Yeah.
acoustic.
Yeah.
You're great on the bongos.
Yeah, so it was a djembe.
He definitely knows how to
On the
slap some
djembe.
skin.
Yeah.
Guys,
That.
thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
Glad to
having
be
us.
here.
man.
Thank
That was
you
fun.
guys so
Yeah,
much. This
dude.
is
This is
the
great.
first full band I've ever had, and thank you to Cosmic Soup, Jeremy over here, fucking
Yeah.
having us all out.
Yeah.
Shout
Thanks,
out.
Jeremy. Thanks, Austin. You're a badass. Jeremy,
Okay.
you're badass.
Who knows the links? Who knows what the links are? Mouse?
We're pointing at Mouse again.
Mouse. Where do we
Um,
find TV Tragedy, buddy?
on all
You
the
can find us
stuff?
on Instagram, Spotify, iTunes.
YouTube.
YouTube for sure.
And that's at TV Tragedy.
Yeah, pretty much. If you just go
TV
search
Tragedy
TV
Band.
Tragedy, we pop up. there somewhere.
tvtragedy.bandcamp.com for that pre-order.
Probably be
Yeah,
the main
get,
one.
get those
June first.
pre-orders in.
Is that where the merch is too?
Yep.
Because we
Yeah.
got some badass bodacious merch.
Ooh.
So
Yeah, tvtragedy.bandcamp.com. Buy all our stuff.
Yeah, we got our new logos on them, and
June
got
1st.
some cool stuff coming out. Some new hats because people have been wanting those.
I want one. Yeah. But I
Same.
can't wear my own band hat. I'm just like,
Guys, I know it's early. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Everyone make some noise for TV Tragedy today, everybody.
Yeah, we're supposed to make noise too.
Anyways,
everybody.
thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Tyler Silva. This is The Rundown with Silva, and this is TV Tragedy. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye, everybody.
Later.
Rundown with Silva.
Oh, yeah, that's the song.
Rundown with Silva. Run, the rundown.
Oh, I gotta